Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to demonstrate the museum aquarelle pencils from caran'dache. So the mailman came early this morning and brought me this beautiful box of museum aquarelle pencils from caran'dache. Let's see what's inside. Very fancy and beautiful box. As you can see, just this lid won't get any further than that. Let's see what's this. A little leaflet, not much information on it. Well, just a little. But anyway, it says it has 80 colored pencils with 4 doubles. And free like Technalo or something, and HB, B, and freebie. And 1 graphwood 2B pencil. So let's see. Sheet of protection. This is layer 1 and they look very pretty indeed. So let's see what it says on the pencil. Well, it says museum aquarelle right there, and here is the little symbol that it is a water soluble pencil, and of course Swiss made by caran'dache, and the corresponding numbers, but it seems they didn't print the color name on it, sadly. So yeah, if you want to know that, you have to look it up on the side, I guess. And of course the light fastness rating. This one has 3 stars. I've checked them all this morning and I only found one of them had 2 stars. So I bet that one is very fugitive, but the rest did have at least 5 4 stars and a couple had 3. And one happened to have 2. I don't know which one it was. It was this one. Actually, this color only has 2 stars. And the rest is all very light fast. So there you have it. Very pretty colors. Then there is layer 2 with nice greens, yellows and browns, it seems. And then there's the final layer, layer 3, with more earth tones and some blacks. And then this is the graphwood pencil. I suppose this is just a pencil that is for sketching, not water soluble, for as far as I can tell. And then there are these 3 water soluble graphite pencils. Very handy, very nice. Can't wait to try those as well. I think I just might. Anyway, that sums up what's in this little chest, and yeah, can't wait to try them. Let's do that in fact. Let's go and try them. This out of the way, and then let's get some cheap cardstock. Like, you can make cards with it, but I find them a bit flimsy, and well, they were cheap, so yeah, what do you want? Anyway, let's bring this a bit closer. Let's try and dry. Well, they lay down very creamy and very soft, and they have nice rich color from what I can tell. I suppose you could use them as a dry colored pencil and layer with them dry, and yeah, let's try that layering thing. Looks really nice. This one is also very creamy and soft. I like them so far. Very nice. Well, they better be nice, because well, they cost quite a bit. They're not coming cheap. But then that's what you pay for, quality. Also a very nice blue. Very nice. Seems you can actually layer quite a bit with these. But yeah. Anyway, let's go try and wet those. Let's see what it does. I'm using a water pen here. Oh yeah, that's some nice watercolor right there. Let's wipe it, wipe it, wipe it. And the paper towel. Come here, paper towel. Oh yeah, it's really nice. I like it. Colors seem quite rich and vivid. That's going to be fun to try paint stuff with this. Bit of the yellow. It seems like this is turning a bit green now, but that's okay. It's just a little try a test anyway. So yeah, it's nice. It seems you can lift the color quite nicely too. Let's see. Yep, good lifting. Let's try this salt thing. Before it's dry. Well, I don't know if it's gonna work. Might be too dry already, but whatever. Well, it turns out it was too dry, so I'm gonna try again. I'm going to wet the paper a bit more now. That's easy to do with these water pens. Okay, then let's try this thing where you can use the pencil to act like a little watercolor nap. Very nice. It blooms out very nice. Oh, this will be fun to play with. Definitely. A bit of blue. And I guess a bit of yellow. It's getting a bit contaminated, but whatever. Okay. I guess we'll wait a little bit until it's dry. See if it's working with the salt. Well, as you can see, where I put the salt on, mainly on this blue and a bit on the red here, it did bleach out, so I suppose it works. But then again, I didn't use much of the paint there, so yeah. And actually on this side it also worked a bit, even though that was already a bit dry, it still did bleach out a bit. So you can get various results and textures this way. I guess you just have to try and experiment with it. Anyway, let's get on with the little tutorial. So I start out by sketching out my drawing. because this is going to be a test piece just for trying out the pencils quickly. It's not going to be any kind of masterpiece. I decided to make a quick sketch freehand. If this were to be a bigger piece and a piece I'd want to sell or use for a commission, I'd be using a grid on a cheap piece of paper, normally print paper, and then later use graphite transfer paper to transfer it onto the actual more expensive paper, and then color it. But since this is just for the sake of testing, I'm going to do it freehand, so it's probably not going to be like 100% accurate to the reference, but it doesn't matter. It's just for fun's sake. I do use some helplines to make sure that the eyes and the nose are in the right places and that one eye doesn't go higher than the other one, to get that you get some kind of wonky silly face thing going on, so that at least it looks a bit accurate. There's also a trick for if you're in doubt about how much space there must be between the eyes. The trick is to draw a third eye in the middle of the other two, and then you get the perfect spacing between the two eyes. So it won't be too far from each other or too close by, so it will look perfect. So now that the sketching is done, it's time to color. So I decide to wet the entire background first, before I apply any of the pencil. And in this case, I'm just picking up the pigment directly off the pencil itself with the wet brush and apply it on the paper, as you can see here. I used some kind of blue. I can't really tell what color it is because the colors aren't named on the pencils like I mentioned before, so yeah, that's a bit of a guessing game. And a little bit of some kind of greenish blue aqua-ish color, and then some kind of dark red over it to get a bit of purplish thing going on. I don't know, I always seem to choose a blue kind of background when I'm drawing an orange cat, just because the contrast is nice between blue and orange. Then here I'm applying the first layers with the color pencil, just dry before I wet it, and they lay down really soft and creamy. I really like the feel of them. In my reference photo, the light source comes from behind the cat, so I'm going to leave those edges white and continue to fill the rest in with orange, because the front and the middle of the cat will be darker, so you get this illuminating effect. And then I'm adding the second layer with a blue pencil to add more shade and darkness into the cat, and also to bring back a bit of color from the background. And I'm doing the same here with a dark red pencil, also drawing out the markings of the cat. So now that I've felt like I filled in all the colors, I took my water pen and started to add water to the painting. I start with the darker areas and then go into the light areas. This way I will not smudge the colors too much, so there will be a distinction between the darker and lighter colors. And at this point you can really see how vivid the colors are. They're really rich with pigments, and I suppose that's why I like the brand caran'dache so much, because most of their products, they are just really full with pigment, and they're usually very light fast as well, so that's always a very good thing. So I won't be going too much into detail with this picture. As I said before, it's just for the sake of testing out the pencils quickly. I just mainly want to see how they layer and mostly how they seem to act when I wet them. So it's going to be more like a loose watercolor painting kind of thing. So I'm adding another layer of dry pencil now that the first layer is dry, to darken up the darker places some more. Like the snout is going to be the darkest, and then towards the edges where the light is hitting, it will be coming lighter. Just adding more some of the reds and some of the blues in the same areas I went before. And yeah, I'm using a very limited color palette here. I usually do, because you can get so much colors by just mixing the ones you're using. I think for this piece I've used only about 6 or 7 colors in general, so that's not much. But by, for example, mixing blues and reds, you can get like almost a black kind of color. So yeah, really, you don't really need much color to achieve a lot of hues in a picture. So adding a little bit more details here before I'm going to go over it with water again. I'm mostly using them wet right now, but I suppose you could use them very well dry, like a normal colored pencil. I did that a lot in the past, but I really wanted to see how it would layer wet on this picture. So adding more blues here, and I thought the background could need a bit more punch as well, so I added a bit more blue there as well. As you can see, there really starts to get a sense of depth in the cat. Adding more water to darken up the eyes, and yeah, you can tell they come alive right now. The colors are really, really nice. I think so far they are the most vivid watercolor pencils I've ever tried. Didn't try much though, because I'm not much of a watercolor artist, but yeah, they are really nice. So for this entire picture I've been using a water pen. These have like a water reservoir you fill with water, so you do not have to dip them into a glass of water every time, so it's very convenient and it saves you a lot of time. Ever since I've got this one, it became my favorite brush. Not that I'm lazy, but it's just so very convenient. Though, yeah, this one is like medium size, so for the finer work, I'd still need like a rigger brush or a normal regular smaller brush. Now that the second layer is dry, I decided to work on the highlights a bit more. So I thought I'd try the white pencil, and these cover quite good. They're quite opaque, dry. I haven't tried them wet, so I can't tell what they'll be like wet, but yeah, for dry they're really good. As you can see, I could draw the individual white hairs quite well with them, just to add a bit more detail to it, to give it a bit more fluffiness, so it looks a bit less flat. Just adding a bit more darker values there, just to make it pop a little bit more. I just keep adding until I think it looks good and I'm satisfied. At this point I will not wet it anymore. These will be the final layers with dry pencil, just to bring out the colors a little bit more. And dang, the colors are vivid. I was really surprised about it. So now about the final details, I'm using a gel pen. I think they're called the Graphik from Derwent. They're actually quite good. So we're nearing the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Please leave me a like if you enjoyed this video, and if you don't want to miss out on any future videos, then hit the subscribe button. I hope to see you again in the next video, and as always, thank you for watching.